We're here with Matias, founder of the Truckee Financial Group, and I'd like to know, when do you think we should start estate planning? And for you, is estate planning, is this a numerical value kind of question where we only do estate planning if we have assets above 5 million or 10 million? Does it matter how many kids we have? When do you start estate planning for your clients?
It's a good question. I think there's a big misconception when to start, because a lot of times we type in estate and it's like, okay, we're going to get taxed if we have millions and millions of dollars. But the reality is, if we have a home, if we have retirement accounts, if we have kids, we don't have kids, we have a spouse, we want to start that process immediately. We want to make sure that if, God forbid, something did happen to you tomorrow or the next day or 20 years from now, that everything you've accumulated will smoothly pass on to your beneficiaries or smoothly pass on to the, whoever's the next person that's going to take over your estate. Plus, it allows us to make sure that if a lot of times there's scenarios where, grandma might pass away or grandpa passes away and they have a farm or they have a house, and we think everything's in place. There is no will, there is no trust, there is no estate plan. They pass away, goes into probate, and all of a sudden now you're waiting 6, 12, 18 months because now the government's involved and they're determining what's what and who's who, and sign this form and do that. So having a proper estate plan allows us to quickly, smoothly, and efficiently pass on the assets. And more importantly, as you accumulate, in the accumulation phase, you tend to protect more of what you have, and you start thinking about, okay, if something happens, I want to make sure it doesn't just go to the kids or just this. I want it for it to go to charities, or I want it to continue on for the next couple of generations. That's kind of the surface as well. Beyond that, there are taxable strategies as well, where if you're using trusts and you're using investment accounts in the trust, or there's previous inheritances that came into the trust that want to continue on through the family tree. The trusts and the wills are super important in that process.
I think it's one of the key components of wanting to do estate planning is starting to help out the next generation with a little bit. I mean, even if it's 50,000 or 100,000, just a leg up on the investing for the next generation. The Carnegies, the Rockefeller, they built it somehow, and they built it by passing it on to the next generation. But how many times when people come into your office, do they not even have that simple will?
9 out of 10 times.
Really?
Yeah, and if they do, it's something that it was a cookie cutter, download a PDF from the internet, and they think that's it, but it's not detailed enough. The probated governments want to see detail. They want to make sure that passes on. And it's not so much that it's the government side. It's more of like, if you have family members, there's kids involved, those details have to be crystal clear in there. And 9 out of 10 times that people come into the office either didn't understand the value of it, or they think you need to have a certain amount of assets, and they don't have a idea of the strategy behind it as well. So a lot of times a client will come in and, I have two houses that are rentals, and I want to make sure those get locked up into the trust so they get passed on as income versus allow my kids to just sell them off, right? So a lot of times it determines what they can do with the money, or how long they have to wait, or however you want to pass on some of the assets as well.
So it's kind of doing financial planning for that next generation if they haven't done the planning themselves. What do we do with these properties? How do we properly make sure that we help with the tax? Because that's another element of it. Sometimes they might be receiving these properties, but can they afford the maintenance of them? And then what do you do if you've got 3 kids who live in different states and one person wants to keep the property, the other 2 want the proceeds from it? I mean, let's have those discussions beforehand. And you can do that. You can help facilitate that for the family.
Absolutely. Part of our retirement blueprint is bringing everything in one place, right? So your investment accounts, your real estate, pensions, Social Security, putting it all in one place, and then protecting all that and making sure if something happens today, tomorrow, 20 years from now, it all smoothly passes on, right? And then if there's a need to be strategic with taxes, and maybe you do have a huge estate and you're going to pay some taxes when you pass away, maybe there's a life insurance component in there that pays into the trust, so it reduces the tax liability. I mean, there's not a million different ways, but a lot of different ways that it can be used effectively and efficiently. And it's a great tool to make sure that whatever you've built will continue on for multiple generations.
That is the key to estate planning. Thank you so much, Matias. If you would like to get started on estate planning for you and your family, make sure that you pass as much of your assets to your heirs as you possibly can. You can sit down with Matias himself. You can call the phone number you'll see on the next screen, or you can go to his website, truckeefinancial.com, learn more about the team. Let's get you started on your estate planning.